Breaking news coming in at this point of time. Well, you saw those visuals right there of protesters gymming away. Now protesters have spent the night at President's office. President's house ransacked. The gym was stormed and you saw them working out as well. We got you those visuals of the protesters working out on a treadmill. Angry mob has gone on relentless rampage. This is relentless rampage. It's a complete state of anarchy right there. Take a look at those visuals that are coming in from Colombo. Lanka is on the boil and you can see protesters on the treadmill running away. And what is happening in Sri Lanka? Let's bring you our reporter to bring you up to speed with the very latest developments. Protesters spending the entire night at the president's office. His house has been ransacked. The gym storm, as you can see, and they're taking turns to run on the treadmill now. Angry mob has gone on a relentless rampage in a complete state of anarchy right there in Sri Lanka. Chaturanga is joining us from Sri Lanka for the very latest. Chaturanga, while Sri Lanka is going through one of the worst political and economic crises possible with a complete state of anarchy as we see, you know, these are visuals that are coming in that are just hilarious. Just look at the protesters. They've ransacked the home and the office and now they're taking turns to run on the treadmill as well. What is really going on over there?
Yes, what is going on here is, as we see, is the people rising up and demanding the resignation of the president and the prime minister. As you are aware, the president has announced that he will be resigning on the 13th of July. I'm standing in front of Ranil Wickremesinghe's private residence that was burnt down yesterday. I'm trying to show you the situation here as well. If you can see behind me, over there is the lorries, the police that were here. They had been securing this area throughout the night. Throughout the day, they were firing tear gas. Along this road, there were protesters standing here and shouting and chanting and trying to go towards the Prime Minister's house this way. What is happening, as you discussed, is Sri Lanka has been asking for the resignation of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. And throughout this entire time frame, they have been asking for the president to go. And on the 9th of May, there was this sort of uprising of the people where the people were taken. They had to go onto the roads and they were basically attacked by the so-called Rajapaksa goons. And now, again, a month and 2 months later, we are looking at another situation where the people have once again come onto the road. And this time they were adamant, they were determined to make sure that the Rajapaksa government was done for good. Gotabaya Rajapaksa was asked to step down, and that is exactly what has happened. He has announced his resignation.
When the protest started, they were rather peaceful protests. Suddenly, this went into an angry rampage of the mobs. What really happened and how did that transition happen?
Yes, that's a very good question. A lot of people were there, about hundreds of thousands of people were there around the golf face where the epicenter of the protests, near the presidential secretariat and the president's palace. Those are the visuals that you see. But what happened here at this location that I'm standing was very unique. See, the Prime Minister, Ranil Wickremesinghe, for over his 40-year political career, had preached human rights. He had been marketing himself as Mr. Clean over the years. He was literally referred to as a person who would allow human rights to function without any problem. That was not the case with the Rajapaksas, as you are aware. But yesterday, when the people came here to protest in front of his private residence here in Colombo, what happened was he or someone in the government had given orders for the police to attack people who were here. They were brutally attacked. And in fact, journalists were here who were on duty carrying out their media activities were also attacked here at this location. So this is the house that you see behind me. You can still see some guards, some police and media presence here at this location. They are carrying out their duties to date. But the fact remains that when the Prime Minister did not adhere to human rights, did not ensure the rights of the people who are demanding for his and President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's resignation, when that happened, there was sort of the people had shown their dissent in a stronger manner than what they were doing during the day. That is what happened here.
All right, let me also bring in Pramod Madhav, who's tracking this development rather very closely. Geeta Mohan, our foreign affairs editor, will also be joining us. She's here with us with a complete and thorough perspective on the issue. But first up, let's go to our reporter on ground over there. Pramod Madhav is joining us. Pramod, bring us up to speed. The President's house ransacked, the gym storm, office invaded. What is going on at the moment?
Well, not just the President's house. In fact, the Prime Minister's house was also attacked. And currently, earlier we showed how the President's office was garroted by the students and Sri Lankan people at this location. But here, we would like to show you the actual way it has started. You could see different kind of tents that has been created in this particular golf place. This is opposite to the President's office, and there are like several tents at this location. In fact, these various tents also talk about various people. In fact, one tent is specifically talking about the hill people, that is the tribal people, how they have been actually denied their right to vote and such. And there is also one tent that is talking about the differently abled who have also gathered over here. Every other tent, two things similarly we could see. One is that go home Gota, and the other one is that they all blame the president for the inflation. They claim that it is because of the president's ineffective all decisions that have been taken that the inflation has gone so high and the cost of price has increased. And as you could see on the other side of the road, now people have once again started to gather. When we came over here, one set of people started leaving, but another set of people have started to gather. And this way, there are so many other, like the various tents. Like I said earlier, this is about the hill people, and the other tent over there, that is over. The blue tent is especially for differently able, and there is actually a kind of
perspective as well, Pramod. What has led to this complete state of anarchy? What is the reason behind this turmoil, politically and economically? Who's responsible?
Well, we spoke to several people at this point, and they are the one common thing we could find over there is that they all blame the president and his family. Rajapaksa family is something that the people here are completely angry. They claim that the family has completely gone corrupt. That is President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, his brother Mahinda Rajapaksa, his son Namal Rajapaksa, and their relative Basil Rajapaksa all held important posts in the government, and that is something the people are not ready to forgive, and they claim. We did put forward a question to them asking, okay, if the president resigns, if the prime minister resigns, what is the solution? Who's going to give a solution? Because there are fertilizers that is at the port, that the fertilizers must be brought into the country. What's going to happen to such important essential items like food and various things? The people here, they only claim that once Gotabaya resigns and once all these ministers and the prime minister resigns, everything will be fine. So it definitely looks like there is not much of an action plan at this point. But here, all you could see is culmination of anger, and that's what led to all these students, protesters gather and storm the buildings at this spot.